Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here. And we're coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to run up 69 right now. We're going to go to the Flint area and Dr. Robert McMahan. Bob, it's always good to see you. He's the president, of course, of Kettering University. And, Bob, one of the things I remember growing up is that Kettering was at one time GMI with the sole purpose of preparing tomorrow's leadership for General Motors.
Right.
And,
Yeah. No, very much
and
so.
you guys have come a million miles from that.
Oh, absolutely. We still have a strong heritage in the disciplines associated with that history, but we really are a much broader institution now because we really focus on the form of education that was developed at that time, applied across all industries. And so we're really, said differently, we're really we value our automotive roots. We value our mobility roots. We're still very active in those industries, of course, but we're really positioned as the premier kind of professional development university within the United States.
No, you're absolutely right. And what I love most is how you combine practicum with classroom,
Yeah,
and that to me, that's a better readiness formula.
it is. It is. It produces. I mean, what we're asking universities. I just finished a article for a magazine on this topic, so it's fresh in my mind. What we're asking universities to be now, from a societal standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from business, from policy, all these things. What we're asking universities to be is not what they actually were developed to be and were designed to be. And so the model of the traditional university is becoming more and more kind of discordant with what
Yeah.
industry is asking, et cetera. This model is actually formed 100 years ago, before its time, actually addresses those issues directly, and was founded on a very different understanding of what education should be and how it should operate. And it's not that you have to sacrifice a lot of the things that we have, that a traditional university provides. I always say to people, one of our very largest departments here is the Department of Liberal Arts, Liberal Studies.
Mm.
We don't sacrifice the traditional kind of exploration of ideas and cultures, et cetera, here as a university, but we do it in the context of having a much more directed focus on what are the students going to be doing after they leave and how to prepare them for that. And the model that evolved from that through General Motors, through the time as General Motors Institute, is, I think, without a lot, without, I want to say arguably, but to be humble, but I don't think so. I think it is the best model to educate engineers and scientists that we have today.
Well, to kind of validate that, let's talk about your national ranking and the ROI,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. I mean, yeah. No, we every year we come out as one of the very top in top 10, top 15 in the country, schools for return on investment. The return, if you calculate it in kind of business terms, a Kettering degree returns an 8 to 10% annual return on, annualized return on investment. That's pretty good in anybody's book. But it also results in career trajectories far different than many institutions. And with Forbes just released an article this week, in fact, naming the top 15 universities in the country for career preparation, and we were right there towards the top of the list. I mean, and we were the only institute in Michigan to achieve this. And it speaks to that model.
It's amazing. And let's talk very quickly about the talent pipeline and the employer network that you guys have developed.
Yeah, I mean, we believe that there's a difference between knowledge and mastery, right? And that mastery comes from the integrated practice of a discipline. Um, I don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of time, but I could tell you story after story of individual students where their epiphany came not at the university, but in the application of of what they were learning in their professional roles. But we work with over 600 organizations, companies, research laboratories, federal labs, et cetera, across the country and in fact across the globe to provide these opportunities for our students. So our students are all over the place.
No, they absolutely are. Listen, probably 45 seconds left here. One of the things we don't think about with Kettering, semiconductor and strategic positioning.
Yes, no, we actually just had approved by our creditors one of the very first 3-year accelerated Bachelor of Science degrees in the country, and this is in semiconductor materials. So it's a hard science curriculum, but it's a 3-year program. You can complete it in 3 years and still have the full Kettering professional experience.
Unbelievable stuff. It really is. Answering the call, so to speak, right?
We like to think so.
All right. Dr. Robert McMahan. Bob, it's always good to see you. President of Kettering University in Flint. We'll be up to see your campus soon. It's a beautiful one.
Fantastic. Look forward to it.
All right, bud. You're watching the Michigan Business Network on or the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.